It's beautiful.
Aloha, namaste, so much love. This is Tom Lesher with the weekly Pele report for July 11th of 2012. Slightly frustrated because this is take 2 or take 3 or whatever. I don't know. You'd think that Mercury was retrograde already. You know, I mean, it's really not going retrograde until Saturday. But we are at this time. It's kind of coming up and it slows down. And so our thought processes, our computers, our cars, our brains are all kind of getting like twisted, slowing down, stopping. And it's going to go retrograde for about 3 weeks. So get used to it. No. God. What does this mean? It means, you know, watch out for missing those buses and those cars and those planes, and you got to really stay on it now. You know, your computers break down and the phones. But what is that Mercury retrograde really all about? Reflect, reorganize, redo, reconfigure, rebel. Yeah? Retrograde, and Uranus is also going retrograde. Yeah, Uranus, you know, has been moving forward now for 5 or 6 months. It's stationary and it's going to go retrograde. So it's like all this territory that we've now forged a new way and a new path, and we've got this new life happening. It's time to go back and look back over and make sure. Dot the I's, cross the T's. Review those contracts, look at those agreements, make sure, yeah, that there's no loopholes, that it's not going to fall apart, that all the liberation and, you know, the space that you've created for yourself, and, you know, how you've kind of had to do the hard knocks in order to liberate and free yourself, you know, don't get like pulled out, stopped, you know, pulled back, and you end up right back where you were before. So this is a time of, you know, it's a pretty sober, serious weekend. The Sun in Cancer comes into a square with Saturn in Libra this weekend, next Tuesday, but really through this whole time period. Mars has gone up into Libra. It's opposite the planet Uranus in Aries, and it's square the planet Pluto up there in Capricorn. The exact square to Pluto is next Tuesday. The exact opposition to Uranus is next Wednesday. But still, it's happening now. Yeah? The moon, currently as I'm talking, is in the sign of Gemini. Well, it's in Taurus, but it's moving into Gemini. And then on, what is it? On Saturday, it moves into Cancer. And then, of course, we're going to have that great T-square. Moon in Cancer, opposite Pluto, squaring Mars and Uranus. And I like to say it's a diamond. Not a grand square, but a diamond. And these diamonds, we know, are created under tremendous amounts of pressure. Yeah, it's like the hardest thing on planet Earth, these diamonds. Yeah, pressure, 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 pressure. And this can be a time of great pressure. But what does that pressure do? Boom! That pressure in Hawaii, yeah, it creates volcanoes. And then what do volcanoes do? Well, volcanoes come out and they make the island bigger. If we look at the ocean as the collective unconsciousness and the island as the self, this pressure creates this self expanding out into the collective unconscious, growing bigger and growing larger. And that's really what this Mars moving into Libra also reflects. Like I've spoken before now, Mars has been in Virgo, preparing, purifying, purging, digesting, working, exercising, healing, criticizing, and just getting all tied up in knots to make sure that I'm good and I'm right and I'm ready and I'm okay. And it's breaking into Libra now. It's time to put it out there. Speak your truth. Sun down here in Cancer, moon coming into Cancer on Saturday. Okay, this all has to do with Cancer. My deepest inner feelings, my deeper inner needs, my deepest inner child, my deepest inner fears. Time to erupt. Yeah, time to let them out. Time to speak your truth. Like it or not, good or bad, right or wrong, this is how I feel. When you said that yesterday, it triggered this memory that I had of my last relationship or what my mother or father did to me. You know, it's really bringing up these feelings. The challenge will be with Mars, obviously. Mars, the god of war, can have a tendency towards arguing, wanting to justify itself, sometimes overreacting, and coming up with, you know, just camouflage. Not camouflage, but just like blowing things up, blowing things out of proportion, overreacting. And, you know, when it comes around to all of that, justifying myself, I encourage you to have your conversations with your partners, with your bosses, with these other people that are, you know, now looking at you, or you're wanting to integrate or learn or get to know or associate with new people. This whole thing is, you know, when it comes to intimacy, keep it in the level of feeling. Not so much about judgment, about right or wrong, about win or lose, but just about feelings. When you said that, it made me feel this. When you did that, I felt shame, or I felt smaller, or I felt hurt. Talk about feelings more than, you know, Libra's an air sign. You know, it's this logical, rational, it's the lawyer, you know, deals with this, you know, justice and truth and da-da-da-da-da-da. But even, you know, getting into the truth of feelings a little more than just, you know, I mean, it's easy to be right in your own mind, but still hurt your partner and still damage the relationship. So then you have to go to a deeper level of right and wrong. Yeah? And honor the other person. So this is a time of leveling, balancing the scales of Libra. This is a time for, you know, partnerships that have been out of balance need to come into balance. And what that means is, you know, Mars opposite Uranus is wake up. Wake up to what you're doing to other people, and that involves listening when other people are reflecting back to you how they're feeling or their point of view. It's a challenging time to listen sometimes to the unpleasant. Sometimes what the truth hurts. Ouch. But it hurts. You go into that hurt. You go into the program. You go into the walls that you made out of fear or insecurity, and you grow. That's the volcano, yeah? That's the island expanding into the sea of unconsciousness, becoming more conscious. So Mars in Libra works in one of two ways, the way I see it. Number one, obviously, the small become big, and the big become small. So if your partnership has not been on a level playing field and you haven't really felt, you know, heard, listened to, honored, respected, this is your week. This is your weekend. Speak up for yourself. Put out a boundary. Put up your shield. Say no more. You're not going to hurt me anymore. It's time for me to stand up for myself. I'm going to put up this, you know, I'm going to chop. Cut the cord. Cut the bullshit. If, on the other hand, your partner's coming at you with, you know what? You know, you're not hearing me. and you're not seeing me. And you're taking all the power, and you're making all the choices, and you're making me feel small and insignificant. This could be a time for you to humble yourself, to take a couple steps down, to listen to the, to the reflection in the mirror of the other person. So there's a lot of this seeing our unconscious self, seeing our deeper self, contacting deeper feelings that we have, deeper needs that we have, all through this reflection, conversation, with an opportunity to deepen our intimacy and our connection with other people. Yeah? So, Uranus is going retrograde this weekend. Mercury is going retrograde on Saturday. All these retrogrades have to do with redo, rethink, reflect, go in. Sun in Cancer, Moon coming into Cancer this weekend. This is, this is really creating a deeper uncovering of our unconscious feelings. And of course we know that we like to think we have it all together. That consciously the ego, has got it together. When the unconscious comes up, it can often be surprise. It can often be ouch. But it awakens us to a deeper truth. So the mantra for this week. As I stand in the truth of who I am, I no longer fear to begin again. Yeah. Oh man. I know you think it's over, but it's not, yeah? As I stand in the truth of who I am, I no longer fear to begin again. Maybe you split up and you broke up a relationship a year ago when Uranus went into Aries, and you've been single for a while. And it's time beginning again might just be, I'm going to risk. I'm going to come out of my safety zone. I'm going to come out of my shell. I'm going to give relationship another shot. Even though I got all these memories and all these fears and all this past stuff that wants to stop me. The beginning again, maybe I've been in this relationship for a long time, and it was about a year ago that I said, all right, I'll give it one more year. And it may be time to slice, chop, cut it out, and begin a single life. And then, of course, there are some of you probably that are just, you're finishing one and starting another, maybe even at the same time. We don't want to, anything is possible. Everything is going nuts and crazy and bonkers. And you want to just, like I say, stay out of judgment and stay into the feeling. And the feeling will be your truth. And that's the way you're going to evolve. That's the way you're going to change, is by working with, massaging, experiencing, and communicating those feelings. Yeah? So is that all the aspects? The Mercury and the Uranus going retrograde, the Sun squaring Saturn, Mars coming into that opposition, and that's going to go on into next week. Even like Tuesday, Wednesday, I'll probably go in a little bit more to that Mars, Pluto, Uranus, T-square, because it does create a lot of tension, a lot of explosive power right now. And we may even be seeing that in the economy or in the geology of our planet. This is it can be a very explosive time where our homes, Sun in Cancer, our security, our families are going through some difficult challenges and trial. It is time to let go of some of the old baggage. So stay flexible, stay adaptable, stay versatile. The good news, okay, is that there is that beautiful Mars is trining Jupiter. And that trine is like the saving grace of all these squares and oppositions that are going on in the retrograde. I mean, it's this Mars trine Jupiter is really making progress towards, it's like Mars going into Libra is like the flower is about to bloom. It's time to be seen. Time to socialize. Time to get out. Go to those parties. Go to those group happenings. Go to those social events. Be seen. Open your mouth. Talk, 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 talk. Speaking of talk, 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 that's enough for today. Speaking to you from Oslo, Norway, where it's a little breezy and cool here. But this is Tom Lesher signing off for this week's Pele Report, July 11th, 2012. Namaste, aloha, so much love. Yeah.